Yeah, when you mentioned Skytoss Colossus, I do recall that believe it was last year, Zess was experimenting with that sort of style, but the thing is, he was doing that in PvP.
Hmm.
PvZ, I mean, I'm just looking at Vipers. I'm just looking at how big Colossus are to target with
Hmm.
those yoinks.
Yeah. Like it's a very similar concept to disruptors, but the thing is, like, Colossus are good against light units. Like they don't even help that much defend against like Roach Queen pushes.
I guess it could help against Hydras? Question mark.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see as we load into Jagannatha KBBLE. We're spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The red third player coming down from the land of Peru. Also, Italia actually coming down from the land of Italia, representing Peru. And himself, he is El Condor Pasa himself. Or you could say El Condor Pasta if you prefer. We have Ryu.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Insane Master Killers. It is XionS. I'm responding to what was just said in the chat.
It's the accent.
I mean, we both have we both have peculiar accents, to be fair.
And we're coming down onto Jagannatha LE. We get a little bit of probe scout. XionS is coming down here. Scouts out that it is in fact going to be a hatch for us coming out from Ryu.
Oh, yeah.
So shouldn't be too worried. This is how Ryu likes to play.
I mean, unfortunately, he was a little bit too slow and he wasn't able to get the pylon block down on that natural. So instead, looking to poke and prod and tase these drones a little bit.
And he will get with it whatever he so does. I mean, it injures up the drones quite a bit. If he can get enough damage done at Adept, it can one-shot instead of two shots from these drones.
Hey, my brain is expanding right now. What if he keeps this probe hidden and throws down a pylon? But it looks like Ryu. No, he's not checking actually. We could even see Adept's warped in. Oh, but he knows.
He does. In fact, no. This is something that Ryu did earlier on in his series. I believe it wasn't against Eric. It was a different server player. I'll figure that out later on. Where, yeah, he did just sneak a couple of links in, more for a couple of banes. So Ryu, he very much knows how a player can be able to utilize the wide open spaces of the main base like that.
If anyone knows how to backdoor someone, it's Ryu.
Yeah, Ryu. He is the Condor, as we like to call him. He will fly over his opponent and just sort of pull him from behind, you know? Teleports behind you. He'll say, "Nothing personnel, kid." As we see XionS just going on with that Stargate.
Oh, that we do. And we're going to keep an eye on whether this is for a Colossus, or he will go for a Colossus after this, or just kind of play a little bit more standard.
Yes, center, of course, being double Stargate coming down, making a couple of Void Rays, only one at the moment. It's good to sort of shark around and spot for the Overlord, but we'll see what he gets after this. That is usually a time where we see the tech choice come now from the Protoss player. Thank you very much to Daunted over here in the chat, gifting a sub to Fusuras.
Quack.
Yeah, just a single.
Oh god. Meanwhile, as things are starting to kick off here, I just want to shed that a little bit, because we do have we have a Roach Warren on the way, still no lair, which is quite interesting, and okay, we do have an Overlord Scout. Ryu did get pneumatized carapace and he saw the opening.
Yeah, and I do have to say, Colossus not gonna do too well against roaches.
Oh boy, but he's not going for it. Oh my god, he's not going double Stargate.
That is a Twilight Council we see on the way. It's gonna be charged, right? It's gotta be.
Kappa.
Potentially. Kappa.
So something that we've seen, and we've seen it quite a bit, right, is these Glavenette pushes where you don't go out with a War Prism, you don't go with a Robo, they just zoom across the map, and they zoom quite quickly on Jagannatha.
Yeah, there's some seed zones. You really want to utilize Shade as well.
Oh my god.
And he is getting charged. There we go.
Oh, mate, you called it. You foresaw.
Yeah.
You're on the level with the Condor.
Up in the sky. And this is actually really good going for charge like this, especially since he is semi-dedicated to the Void Race. I mean, he's not going double Stargate or anything, but he's getting a decent amount of them off. If Ryu is a little bit off his game, he can totally think that this is a dedicated Sky Toss and overcommit to something like Hydras.
Exactly, like seeing 3 Void Rays like this still could be double Stargate, and oh my god, he even takes out one of the queens, takes out a second queen as well. There's not enough energy here for Transfuse, but there's enough DPS here to push away the voids. But more importantly, like, again, like this charge lot all in that's coming is so uncharacteristic. Oh my god, so many gateways are being thrown down.
And I'm just looking at that Hydra Den being made.
And this is terrifying because there's no Bailey Nest, right? Like there's no overwhelming amount of roaches to help defend the Hydras. These charge lots, they're gonna have free reign over these light units.
I'm shaking my head.
Oh boy.
Shaking my head so hard.
Okay.
More gateways being built. Here's the Overseer, and it should tell Ryu everything he needs to know.
Exactly. He dives in. He sees the abundance of gateways. He sees the Twilight Council was being chronoed as well. He saw the Templar Archives. He knows that it is Charged Archon.
And how's he going to build up at home? A very quick infestation pit being made. We might see a Lurker Den, but that might be a little bit too much of a time commitment to get a defense up. Whatever the case, Ryu, he's got to get whatever he needs right now. He's getting a lot of roaches, which I don't know about this light. They're good against Archons, but against Chargelet and Void Race,
I mean, he just basically has to make nothing but units. Like, he cannot drone up whatsoever, and he hasn't so far, which is great. He's making roaches. He should be making hydras as well. He's got his queens. It isn't ideal, but it should be enough to like just barely hold on. The question is, Xion's, he knows that he got scouted. Is he going to commit to the attack or just expand?
Well, he hasn't expanded yet, but could be a case where he just wants to have a bit of a stronger push, get some more Archons out, get his +1 to finish up. Pushing earlier on is ideal if you know your opponent didn't scout you and you know that they are in fact going to be, playing the way you kind of force them to play, right? With all of those Hydras out. Hydras can't do anything against the charge sets, but as you said, Xion's, he knows that he's been scouted, so he's going to wait until he gets the safer push.
I love it. This is such a big brain. Like, this is beautiful what we're seeing right now. He's responding to his opponents. And now, like, what does Ryu have? He made a bunch of roaches, which isn't ideal whatsoever. He's trying to do something with them so he can get some value, but he's just being pushed away by the Void Rays.
Just like so. I mean, gets a zealot.
You know what Ryu just got? Ryu just got me a Micad.
This is what direction.
Exactly. Like, this is what Miyamika does. He does the one thing, and then he forces you to respond. Then he does something else. He expands, and then he forces you to respond and drone up. And now he's actually going for the attack, and he does not have Archons. He has Storm.
Mate, how is Storm gonna do against roaches, though? I mean, Ryu, he's trying to find an opening. Oh, eats need a rally light.
He just stood in that Storm, took it in his face. He does have a couple of lurkers, and Storm merely tickled lurkers, so this is ideal, and there's no detection, I believe.
Yeah, not quite yet. And I tell you what, Storm does tickle lurkers, so you get enough of them on top of the lurkers, you don't even need detection.
Yeah, just tickle them to death, mate. It's like sentries.
Yeah, that's actually a thing that can happen. You get like an asthma attack.
There you go. Let's hope Ryu doesn't have asthma. Or XionS even. Oh god, as XionS does get pushed back. Ooh, actually a lurker. I missed this completely. A roach run by.
Very nicely done here, forcing so many probes off the mineral line, killing even more than that. This isn't gonna prompt XionS to go all in or anything, but he definitely knows, alright, I didn't get much economic damage done with my push. I traded decently well with the army, but this is a 5-base Zerg player. He can remake that army. I need to cripple the economy. And so far he hasn't been able to do that.
Exactly. And XionS, like, he's in a really weird position because Ryu has his ideal composition. He has lurkers, so he's safe on the ground. He's got vipers and he's got hydras, or he's got vipers on the way, I should say. So this is ideal for Ryu. Meanwhile, XionS is like stuck in this like weird wonky composition, and he wants to get to Skytoss, but it's still a ways away. Like the fleet beacon is still just thrown down.
Yeah, he's gonna try to do whatever he can get done here. Throw away a little bit of Gateway Army. Make sure he actually has his supply to transition to Stargate. He has one Templar, it seems. Yeah, one Templar, but it does have quite a bit of energy on it.
Yeah, that he does, but like he can't push into where all these lurkers are. Meanwhile, at the same time, ooh, the DTs get into the bases. There is no detection here.
Rip the spores. Where is the Overseer? On its way, but in the meantime, 9 of these drones getting taken out here from Ryu, and this is a fantastic start for XionS.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
This is the damage he wanted. Meanwhile, while that was distracted, pushes in, takes out a couple of lurkers.
Oh, that he does, and that was not an insignificant amount of damage. 50-19, sorry. Drones went down. More here at the newest base of Ryu.
Right, actually lose that base.
Oh, he could. Meanwhile, the main army of XionS is trying to get on top of these lurkers, and for the most part, he is slowly chipping away at that lurker count. A couple of more are forced to be morphed in, but at the end of the day, it looks like Ryu just barely has enough to hold on here, even morphing more lurkers.
Indeed, he barely has enough, but he kept his bases alive, which is definitely a start. Lost quite a number of drones, but he has remade them, and he's not starved for larva whatsoever.
No, he is not. So what's scary though is that you have to be careful if you're a player like Ryu. You can't overcommit to lurkers because, again, the Skytoss is on the way. We got 2 more Stargates being thrown down, so we're gonna have 4 carrier production. You can't neglect your anti-air. Otherwise, like the tech switch is gonna mess you up. Oh god.
Lurker burrow and get a couple of these gateway units, but that's very much replaceable for XionS, especially now he's comfortable on 5 bases mining. Beautiful feedbacks, Jim.
Ooh, meanwhile, there was a bit of a run by here again at the newest base of Ryu. It's getting quite low, already on fire, so Ryu has to be careful not to lose that.
Yeah, well, it'll slowly regenerate over time, so...
As we all know, fire heals Zerg buildings.
Yeah.
As we
not
see.
held back. But...
Oh god, and nicely done by Ryu. He was able to deny one of these bases. Again, there's also a roach here looking to make it even more difficult for XionS to expand.
But honestly, like, looking at the position XionS has, he doesn't need to expand for a while, I would say.
I mean, he's on 4 bases, right? So a 5th is kind of a bonus at the moment. Meanwhile, Ryu, he's inching ever closer, slowly getting up the ramp, laying siege on the 4th base of XionS. Ooh.
Really good yoink.
Yeah, honestly.
Just like so.
Yeah, killing a carrier for free like that is insane, and the lurkers, they've gotten up the ramp, and now they're going to be able to take out the Nexus. XionS has to do something.
And he decides that something is, in fact, going to be a base trade. Another really good yoink coming in here. XionS now down to 3 base economy. Ryu expanding to a 6 base, but there's not a whole lot back at home. And I like what you mentioned about the anti-air earlier on. There's really not a whole lot of them. So many Templar over here, Light, with plenty of energy. And feedbacks, beautifully done. And there's still about 2 storms left here for XionS.
Oh my god, and it wasn't just the feedbacks. Every single Viper just died for Ryu. He only has lurkers and hydras left, but XionS is not feeling confident enough to continue on. Meanwhile, harassing lurker.
Yeah, love to see it.
And that forces XionS to respond, forces him back, and Ryu, sure, he lost the base, but like, he took a 6th, as you said, right? Like, it's fine, like, he's got plenty of bases.
He definitely does. Plenty of Chrono Boost to go with them. For XionS, Ryu will not have Chrono Boost, but you know what? He does have Injects, so plenty of Larva.
Yeah, and I love this. Ryu, he is taking up. He does have his Spire. He's got Corruptors coming out. He has remade his Vipers, unlike Eric, who neglected them after some time. But he does have them. Ooh, even looking to go for even more Lurker Harass.
I might be able to get it. I only now realize that he's doing this from dropping, which makes it even more impressive, IMO.
Yeah, he's not waddling them across the map, he's sneaking them around with these Dropper Lords. Meanwhile, Ryu is looking to try and apply pressure here again, just kind of distracting XionS, like, you know, misdirecting him a little bit, as like the real threat is that Lurker job.
Oh. It very much is. Getting an Archon, though, is absolutely beautiful here for Ryu. Well ahead in the army supply. Does have to be careful, though. One good storm and one good purification over, and this army is gone just like that.
That it is. And as all that was happening, Ryu does back off. He is forced to back away, and the Lurkers are being dropped here at the newest, freshest base of XionS.
And keeping these probes well out of mineral line. Look at that income plummet for XionS. And this is really important. He needs a strong economy to back up his production. These are very expensive units, but he's not quite getting it. A couple of Templar over here. Nice little bit of yoinking. And still a couple of energy for Storm. Still definitely some feedbacks available for XionS. You got to split, Papi Ryu. Very good purification over on top of those Lurkers. None of the Hydras go down, which I'm not sure if it's a good or a bad thing here for Ryu. I mean, on the one hand, he will have more anti-air available. On the other hand, he hasn't remade Hydras. He's going for Corruptors.
That he is. Meanwhile, beautiful feedbacks there by Ryu. By XionS. Ryu only got one abduct off on one of the disruptors, but at the same time, the Nexus actually went down.
Huh.
Oh god, XionS, he just didn't have enough to like split off and help deal with the harassing Lurkers. So now XionS, he's down to 3 bases. Like or not even, like 1 base economy essentially. Like he's barely got any mining going on.
He really doesn't. These Lurkers are absolute MVPs in this game.
Oh my god, and they're still alive, they're still dealing even more damage. XionS, he desperately needs to get another base up and running, and Ryu is doing a really good job at just starving him out. Ryu, he's maxed out. XionS, he's struggling to get anywhere near that kind of supply.
Just 2 good pair bombs, that's all I want to see here.
Oh god, we'll see if we get it, because we've got plenty of Vipers. That hatchery is getting dangerously low due to the Vipers sucking away at that energy, but they're gonna have plenty to work with, and I don't believe there are any High Templar here to feedback.
No, there are not. Thought for a second saw a fungal, but it was just a parabomb, and it's taking out a good chunk of the health of these Void Rays. Look at that. The Corruptors come in to clean house, and this may just about be it. The High Templar finally come in a little too late.
Yeah, exactly. They would need it earlier. The power bombs have already done their job. Ooh, the High Templar are almost being taken out by the Lurkers. And really, like, there are just so many Corruptors here, he can just take everything out.
Yeah, dodging the storms, that was the final one that XionS could land with this army. These should be called fairly soon. GG! Ryu El Condor takes game number 1. Nowhere's near. That's a long series. So far, anyway.
Yeah. Like, that was really well played by XionS. It felt like he was able to keep up, but at the end of the day, like, he was starved out. He just couldn't get a decent economy up and running. He couldn't afford the Skytos army that he wanted.
That he really could not. Again, those Lurkers, absolute MVPs of this game.
Oh yeah, they were doing so much in the main army and in the harass as well, so that's kind of what Ryu is known for, and we'll see what XionS has in store for us in game number 2. We'll see if he can bring it back and make that PvP finals happen.
Well, it's Jim we're talking about. Would he play PvP or would he play ZvP?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Part of me feels like he would probably play PvP, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. As Jim is kind of just taking a bit of a breather, you know, maybe dancing a couple more times, working on his moves, waiting in the finals.
It's a good idea, honestly.
He's working on his choreography. Oh god.
We have confirmation of our next map.
Yeah, we have our lobby.
And we do.
Huh. Oof. Meanwhile, Jim is actually looking over some of the IM matches from last night.
Ooh, I missed a couple of them. I think I went to bed after Maru Hero Marine.
I only watched like the first 2 games of Stats versus Rainer, and then I went to bed.
I should watch Cyril Clem. I was told that was really close.
Yeah, I'm 100% looking forward to watching all of the VODs whenever they get uploaded to YouTube.
They're pretty quick. Yeah, they're pretty quick about it. I think like 12 hours ish.
Yeah, something like that.
They do it, something like that. Yeah. And hopefully not. Speaking of 12 hours, this is a ZvP, so that might be what we're in for here in the top right-hand corner map, swatting all the way in the top right-hand corner of Pilares de Oro. LE holding up the rest of the card en la mapa Poel. He is our red sword player coming down from the land of Italia, representing the land of Peru. We have El Condor himself, Ryu.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Insane Master Killers, the best Protoss in all of Peru. It is XionS.
Okay. So I saw 7 gateways producing, but chose only 1.
Only one. Stay with me, Yaku. Stay with me. We're almost there. Potentially. We've still got a finals ahead of us, though. Of course, everyone, don't forget to stretch. Don't forget to hydrate. Drink plenty of water, as we have a long day of StarCraft ahead of us. As you were saying earlier, we have this event, Copa Hyperion. Then in a couple of hours, we have a Grand Platypus Open, and that leads straight into IM Katowice for the final day of the playoffs, of the whole event.
Yeah. Pretty hype coming down.
I think
Until then,
actually, it's
semifinals tonight.
Okay, just the semis.
Quarterfinals tonight. It's
Quarterfinals
tonight. Tomorrow is semis and finals.
There we go. So we've still got just a massive weekend of StarCraft. So yeah, if you enjoy it, then consider hitting that follow button. We're live throughout the week. We got plenty of StarCraft here available, whether it's Latin American StarCraft, North American, Southeast Asian, Oceanic, and even Korean. So hope you've been having a good time.
Rip EU hours, so.
Rip EU. And I see in the chat people are enjoying our new emote. Yes. The best platypus.
Yeah, oh no.
Oh no.
Barry, the platypus.
It does.
Fastest, oh no, alive.
He does not have a name yet. We'll figure it out if he gets one. If we get more platypus emotes.
But will it still be Barry, or will it be a different platypus?
That's the question. Speaking of, if you have ideas for other emotes, then we'll gladly, consider them. I don't know if we need like a Poggers emote. Do we need a Pog? Maybe.
Yeah.
What would it be though? Would it be a duck? Would it be a swan? Would it be a pelican?
Yeah.
What would it be?
It would be a pelican.
It'd be me and Micah? Is that what it would be?
Yeah. It'll be Pelipog.
Oh boy.
Or Pelichamp.
There you go. I don't know if Pelican is really synonymous with us yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Meanwhile, we are just slowly getting into the swing of things. I'm really curious to see what XionS is going to go for, because again, I love the way he played out. Oh my god, that's tries to macro against the Lings. Oh. It's gonna go down.
It will, in fact, go down. At least one of these depths are going to fall. The other one starting to get surrounded, too. I can't say I have too high hopes for this base.
Yeah, these Lings have just done an insane amount of damage. A Stalker, one Adept, the second Adept is going to fall. The Void Ray is forced to come back home.
And finally, XionS rather, is going to secure a third base.
It was fought hard and long, but he was able to get it. And I was about to say that I love the way that he played out Jagannatha, like starting off with the charge and kind of pivoting from there. It looks like he's opting to go for something similar with another Twilight Council on the way.
Huh.
Oh.
Well, might not be able to work on Misdirection this time, so might see Glaive the Depths.
Yeah, we'll see which variant he goes for, if he goes for Charge or Glaive Adepts. He is morphing in a couple more Adepts. He does have a harassing pylon here. A reinforcing pylon, I should say.
Huh. Well, we'll see where he gets up with it.
Yeah, and interestingly, we have Ryu. Once again, going for Roaches, which is pretty normal, but going for Borrow.
Huh. Well, it won't against Jim Rising.
I was about to say, we've seen time and time again people like accidentally start Borrow and then cancel it later on, so I hope he commits.
Well, what else could he be getting from that lair?
And there it is, once again, XionS going for Charge.
Alright then.
This could just be his go-to build in this matchup now. Like, maybe he's had like semi-success with some and maybe with others, and he's just not just going for Charge, but he's going for double Robo.
Charge Colossus?
I don't know about that one, but what's interesting is that like last game he went like Charge and Storm, not even Archon to begin with. He just went straight High Templar with Storm. But like there's no Templar Archives this time. Instead, like the more commitment into those robotic spades.
I'm just thinking how this is gonna play out. It could of course still be Immortals. Sort of pseudo Soul Train push coming out. But with Charges instead of Stalkers, that is interesting.
Yeah, and there it is. We have double Immortal production. No Robotics Bay whatsoever. So really interesting decision here from XionS. We'll see if it works out for him. I do think that because it's double Robo production, like he's going to do really well against like Roach-based compositions. But we'll see how heavily Ryu commits to Roaches and if he goes up for like a fast Lurker Den again.
Yeah, definitely going to be ideal against at least the Charge. Let's not so sure about the Immortals. So, I mean, they do decent against Immortals, provided there's no detection, but again, a very big if. Without Lurker range, I do believe the Immortals also outrange Lurkers. Could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see, because there it is. Lurker Den is on the way. So it's going to be on Ryu to have Lurkers ready for the attack. I'm assuming there's going to be an attack. As we have quite a number of sentries, we got Immortals. He is reinforcing this. What? I feel like we've seen this before. Did he cancel Charge? No, he didn't.
Huh. Well, gonna try to flank here the Roaches he is.
Did he get Charged instead of Blink by accident?
No, it can't have been.
Because Blink is still on the way, and Blink would be great with this, especially if he's reinforcing with Stalkers. Yeah,
it can't have been Blink, right?
He's reinforcing with Okay. He's mixing in a couple of Zealots. He's mixing them in. Maybe from necessity, but he's doing it.
Yeah, which is interesting to say the least. Very nice force fields coming out from Ryu.
Oh, that he is. He's going to try and push into this fourth base. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of Ravagers being morphed in, which is key here to bile down these force fields. What he does not have, though, are any Lurkers.
that he really does not. Looks like XionS is just about going to break through the Corrosive Vials on what the Void Race as well as the Observer. Now it's pretty much a time for maybe some lurkers to get more. Ryu is spending every single one of his army units in defending against this though, which you can't really blame him for. Vials don't quite land over here.
Yeah, exactly. But the Biles earlier were beautiful as the majority of the Void Rays have gone down. Only 2 remaining. But XionS, he is not stopping. And as he broken through, he's trying to. A couple more roaches are coming out for Ryu, though.
Biles! Nicely landed. Not really killing anything, but does weaken a lot of these stalkers to move all across the map. Ling run by going in and pretty much forcing XionS into an all-in. Actually, a roach run by.
Oh my god, yeah, it must have been taking a while for them to waddle away. He was forced to pull some of the drones, and the drones, they buffered enough for the majority of the Protoss army to go down, and now he's trying to focus down the Dwarfism.
That's insane. What a hole coming out from Ryu. GG is called. And our finals is gonna be Jim Rising versus Ryu.
Wow. I'm legitimately impressed by how Ryu was able to hold that. Like, it was looking really rough for him.
As am I.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see him, like, start a step back to safety, not overcommit with his Roach Ravager, because he was losing a lot of Roach Ravager. But he just waited for the reinforcements to come in, and then he pulled the boys, and he was able to just overwhelm XionS. Not just overwhelm him, but also counterattack with spare roaches. It's crazy.
Absolutely insane. A couple of really good Biles also landed there, which helped out, but I think Ryu would have held regardless of whether the Biles landed or not. Would have had defender's advantage, and as you said, really good at his third step, really just doing whatever he could. And now I feel a sense of dread in the air.
Ooh, which way? Which way is the dread going?
The dread is going that the tournament's gonna end in 3 hours.
The dread is setting in. The thing is that we don't even know what matchup we're going into, mate. Like, we're as the finals are being set up, Jim Rising versus Ryu. Jim, someone who has been playing a lot with Protoss. This is going to be his final test for his Protoss. Is it? It was good enough to take down Eric. Is it good enough to take down Ryu?